Move. Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
But operating expenses, just cleaning up the water line, and some agency council fees. So what we're doing, we're getting some work done on the park ahead of time, some title work that we were doing. So put that in before. All infrastructure expenses in the park. Again, trying to hope to recoup that, but investment for future years. So we'll probably show the opposite next year with a hefty gain, but any of that's sort of how we manage this agency. So with that, I will entertain any questions.
I see no questions, there's no questions being asked, I entertain a motion to approve. Move. All in favor?
Thanks. We're going to move on to Ryan Snyder. We asked Ryan, who is the director of our Workforce Development Office, to come and give us a bit of an update and report on the job fair activity that we've had this past year, and a little bit of a working plan for going forward.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Thanks, everyone, for the opportunity to be here this morning. Bill asked me to come and just kind of share some of the data and some of the successes we had last year. As you know, I was here last year about this time, and we were asking for some funding to support a new concept doing what we're calling mini job fairs, doing them in the evenings, trying to attract a different job seeker, maybe an employed worker who's underemployed or maybe looking to come home and work in the county rather than transporting to Rochester. Most of the events that are offered are usually during the workday and people can't attend them, so we tried to do an evening event, and we hosted them at the government center to keep costs down. We wanted to not charge the employers because we found that when we don't charge, we get a participation from a lot of smaller businesses that maybe don't have the resources or just not equipped or familiar with coming to job fairs. So with your financial support, we were able to advertise in the Penny Saver, which has historically been the best way that we can reach job seekers to let them know about an event that we had. So we're looking, I'm going to share some data, but we're looking to do it again next year. We've already scheduled space to run 10 events if we are able to do so. And as you probably all know, the unemployment is still 3.6%. It's just historically low. It's slightly increased from the prior year, but not very much, and employers are just still really struggling. So some data about how our events went last year. So we hosted them in the evenings at the government center at 4 o'clock. We had on average about 24 employers, which was the maximum amount we could handle in the venue. We used this room and then the hallway. We averaged about 40 job seekers each night that we ran them, which we were very happy with. We had 71 different employers that participated in an event throughout the year, so a lot of diversity. What we do is if someone attends an event in January, we put them on hold for the next month and try and see if any new interest comes out. And then as it gets closer to the event, we'll welcome people back that were attending. We have a lot of people that want to come every single month, but we want to increase diversity since it's a free opportunity and it's being subsidized, obviously. We had 447 different job seekers attend the events. The key stat that we were really hoping for was to attract those employed workers. We had 24% of the population attending the job fairs that were already working. When we would run our job fairs during the day, it was maybe like 2% that had a job. So we're getting those people that are working. Those are your higher caliber people. You're most likely to be hired at a job fair. They already have a job, they have skills, they're employable, and then they're just looking for different opportunities. 8% of our attendees were veterans. We're always emphasizing trying to help veterans at our events, so we do maintain that information. And then another important statistic, we'd like to know how people found out about our events. We do a lot of free marketing through social media, through the Department of Labor and other state agencies, through our office, but nothing works like the Penny Saver, and 24% of the people that attended the events knew about it primarily from the Penny Saver. So that's why we continue to seek your support. We had great feedback from the employers. Every event, I talked to every single employer that was there. They all said it was a great venue for them. It's a minimal time investment. It's at the end of the workday, which is very convenient for them. And they're seeing a much higher caliber of job seeker than they do when we run them during the day. So we actually did get one letter from an employer that I just was going to read quick. They said the events are very well organized and the turnout is strong. The probability of finding experienced workers is higher than most other job seeker venues. So We think they were a great success. Maureen's been on our board for the last couple of years, and I think when we were doing the more traditional one-day larger events and Laura was involved in the past, I think these are really a much more effective way to help the job seekers. So I guess I'm here to ask if you would consider supporting the advertising cost again so that we can keep the job fairs free to the employer. Otherwise, we'd have to collect a fee to use to pay for the advertising, and I think it would discourage participation. So,
Yeah, so kind of looking forward, we did anticipate something like this coming. So our marketing budget does have enough in it to be able to cover this. If not, we use it someplace else, but if you want to go forward with this, you can do it without cause. We certainly have room in our budget for it. Some of the comments that I guess we were getting back were just that the folks that were visiting had their employer badges on or their employee badges on. So folks knew that these were employable individuals. I think some of the employers around the tables were enticed by that because they knew that these folks kind of knew what the workplace was like. And some of the prior job fairs where you say they were coming in with jobs was only about 2%.
yeah. And it was those same folks year after year after year that everyone recognized and we've been working with. These are folks that most of us have never seen. They found out about it through some other source and just happened to pop in and see what was available. So it's a different market. That's the market that we need to reach.
The other markets were essentially coming for the food and maybe some of the giveaways. So
Pretty much.
we do feel that this is a much better event. As far as the numbers that are attending, I really didn't know what to compare it to. You're getting 40 job seekers or 400 and some for the year. I did hear a stat, Long Island was doing this as well. They've got a population of like 1.3 million within the area that they were doing it, and they were getting 300 per fair. So when I did the percentages, I was saying 65,000 at 447 versus 1.3 at 300, and the math is there. So I think it is working as effective and it's keeping us in line. So, with your blessing and approval, we will go forward with funding this and continue to monitor it and make sure that it is effective. We've always got the opportunity to say, it's kind of lost its effectiveness or whatever, so we can cut ties. This is on a monthly basis.
And we measure stats and report out on a monthly basis. So if we were to see a decline in attendance, we probably would cancel them going forward.
4,000, yeah.
4,000.
Yeah.
That's what we supported that.
Yeah, close to that. Penny Saver, they did track, how did you hear about this? Penny Saver was the most overwhelming response on that. So we do plug it by our social media, so obviously no cost for that. But Penny Saver is the expense. The folks are going to look for it.
So you run it through the whole county, right? All the additions of the Penny Saver.
Last year we did, yes.
And then I think we have some flyers. We bring the flyers up to the post office. And there's a lobby.
The nice thing, I think in the second year, last year we ran them the second Tuesday of every month. This year it'll be the repeat of that same day. And I think we started to build up a trend where people knew, that second Tuesday, there's always something going on at the government center. So
We did want to keep it regularly scheduled so that it could kind of build that repetition.
What about the program at Johnson County Fairgrounds? Is that like this?
Everything I'm seeing says that they're going to do it again. We'd hope that maybe they rotate it around. I'd love to put it here in the county. So yeah,
Go with their hands.
go with the years, yeah.
yeah,
Well received. They're already talking about bigger numbers next year for this. So I think that's going to be another good response. We put $1,000 to that last year.
It's my next one. So that's it for this year.
Yeah, we've got room in the budget for that. So I would love to support that again if and when it all comes together, but they're already talking about it. That board, they scheduled the date yet?
Yeah.
They already did. I knew they got out.
they're opening it up to more grades this year too. Last year we had about 900 students and we only, I think it was just high school. They're going to go into the middle school this year. And Orleans County kind of found out about it the last minute, so no one really came from that county. So they're expecting almost double of, I think, attendance this year. So,
And I did see that Genesee Construction has been offered to be a premier sponsor. I think they were 10,000 last year. They came down to 5
I
this year.
believe so.
It's still a big number as a sponsor. So.
Okay, if there's no concerns or questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve this $4,000 for Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Carried.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
We have you back in a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. Right downstairs.
Appointments and designations. This is a standard annual meeting item that we have to have approved. Basically, it's a roster of members of the board of directors. You should see your name up there.
Everyone has one of these in front of them too.
You're on the board committees. We do these as a committee of the whole. So essentially, you are all on governance and on audit and finance. And of course, the other board appointments, we've got our official newspaper there, is the county news. Our auditor is Bonavia. And there's your committee is our legal counsel. Staff is there. And the official depositories. Actually, Student is going to soon become community, so you'll see one less up there. But just need a motion and an approval unless anybody wants to make some consideration for changes.
Is there any idea for any changes? And then we take a motion to approve. Second? All in favor? Aye. Where are we with the vacancies? Do you have any thought on that?
Yeah, I've got a couple of names. I'd like to follow up on those this month and have some meetings. I do have two names that I want to pursue. Actually, I got a third name just shortly ago. So I'll probably be having some conversations, seeing what the interest level is.
Good. Okay. New business.
A little bit of a change to the first item, which was an inducement resolution for Ron. I spoke with them yesterday. There's some holes in the application. He's coming in Monday. We're going to fill them in and get the inducement to Jim. What we are talking about with them is I'd like to get approval here to schedule a public hearing sometime prior to the February meeting that we have, which is on the 7th. That public hearing kind of gets the big time delay out of the way, would allow for public input and comment on the project. But then at February 7th, if we wanted to move, we could move quickly on that. So this would check one of the boxes that we need. Jim, is there anything else that I'm missing on that, or just kind of get the hearing out of the way?
No, I think, just what we're looking for is a motion to allow Bill to schedule the
We do have to get it in on Monday, so yeah, or,
You've got to have that in the township, have that.
yes, we do.
Okay, another thing, that motion to schedule a public hearing for the Town trucking project. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye.
Hey, just a quick update. They was at the planning board meeting in Town Devon on the 16th. They received preliminary approval. A couple of changes that the planning board wanted, some landscaping, things like that, that they're taking back, putting together, and then they're going to be back at the January 7th meeting on the planning board, seeking final approval, which should help that particular time. So that's a little bit of why the delay in the closing. If we had gotten final approval on the 16th of December, we likely would have been closed by now. But that preliminary gives them enough to be able to say, you know, you achieved 99% of what we need. Get the landscaping back in front of us, and we'll give you 100%. So interestingly enough, at that January 7th meeting, I've got to go with Noise Hospital as well. That's their first building at my board. So trying to get a lot of business done that night. Next week. No, nothing at all on that, Laura. But I do owe them a call just to kind of check in with them and see what they want to do. Figure it out. But these other two are going to take a little bit more precedent. I hope that Ronald will be as the day. I hope that we'll be wrapped up by now. So kind of work closely with them and anybody else. The other one was Jim Gardner, who's the Blackstone West guy who wanted to buy the small piece of property out behind his building, 48 by 250 foot section. It's it's 3/10 of an acre. He was gone for a good chunk at the beginning of the month, and he's also gone now. He had his granddaughter. He and I have gone back and forth. We're getting the impasse on price, but I'm holding my ground. According to Jim, this is what happened the last time that we worked with Blackstone West, which was prior to me. But look at there, I made our argument that if he doesn't want the property, we'll just leave it attached to the parcel behind him, and we'll sell it at $10,000 an acre back to him. So, in any event, I'm waiting for him to respond to our last communication, which was essentially, we're firm on price. So that's the Fox and West update. Other than that, I have some comments, but we don't, well, we're on live stream if you haven't noticed yet. So this was our first go on this. So for comments, we've got our auditors coming in on January 13th. They will start their process. They've scheduled us for 2 weeks. I hope they're not here for 2 weeks. They can hear that if they want to. But usually it's about a week. We can get them everything they need will be ready and see us when we get here. The EDC conference is at the end of this month in Albany. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a Tuesday evening, all day Wednesday, and Thursday morning. And that's the 28th through the 30th of this month. I gave you a piranha and noise update. Last item, I went through Livingston Correctional Facility on December 20th with some of the folks from the Department of Corrections. Interestingly, I've never been in the facility. Thankfully, I've never been in the facility. Not at all what I expected, quite frankly. I mean, I expect a lot of steel, a lot of bars, a lot of clanging behind me. These are dormitories. I mean, they're big rooms with half walls and wide open. I think there's some tremendous reuse potential for this as long as you get rid of the barbed wire and the razor wire. But the heat is all provided by steam generation that Groveland Correctional Facility uses as well. So, I mean, I think there's some efficiencies here. There's not much gas in terms of natural gas usage. A ton of electric. They have substation on site. A lot of power at all these facilities. These buildings could essentially really be kind of cleared out. They're not load-bearing walls. You could open it up quite a bit and end up with 15 buildings of decent size for reuse. There's a commercial kitchen area, the mess hall, which all the equipment's gone, but still it's wired for significant commercial kitchen production, and it's got walk-in cooler space that would rival Wegmans distribution center. I mean, it's really got some potential. There's a full field house at the end of this facility, full gymnasium, looked like a high school back there. 2 lit baseball fields, 6 lit outdoor basketball courts. I mean, it's got a greenhouse, a lot of locational space. So the wheels were turning. So I got an email back to the Department of Corrections, said, who would I be working with if we ever get some opportunity? They gave me a contact name. He's out of Empire State Development out of New York City. So I made contact with him yesterday and just said, I'm going to talk to you about how we do this process for you. And whether we could garner some of the economic transformation money that does go along with these prison closures. We did make a plea a while back with Ian saying, if we hear this is out there, can we get some? Simple answer is no, but there are some closures that had happened a few years back. They haven't used all their transformation money, so now it's kind of working to get reappropriation. So I keep bugging on that, but there's some potential there. What and how it comes together, I don't know, but with water and wastewater capacity that's there, a lot of acreage. I think I did some quick calculations on the aerials. The prison itself, the facility itself takes up about 60 acres. And I want to say that whole side of the road has got about a 200 acre parcel. And then the actual steam plant, substations, and some of the infrastructure, wastewater plant, that's on about 40 acres. So there's still some green space there that can be developed too. So
It's a good facility. We just spent $6 million on roads.
and another 8 on the water line, and
then they put a ventilation system in there probably 5 years ago. Who's the board member who's on that prison committee anymore? Don't they even have it?
That was the first year I had gotten invited to their open house, but I wasn't able to attend.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of in the eye of the beholder, but I felt like you could put enough lipstick on it to actually not make it look like a prison anymore. Again, as long as you sort of get around the fence and the razor wire and maybe some of the transformation money.
Well, that's the council who goes in there, and then they want the fence. The razor wire is not a big
having it enclosed isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so the trucking companies.
Yeah.
Plants.
There are raised docks to most of these buildings. I mean, somebody look at the 10,000 square feet could easily find themselves, you know, I don't know what sort of rates the state's gonna be talking about, but frankly, just like them to say, why don't you take care of it and figure it out? I'll get that answer. I'll be happy. I'm gonna get that answer. We're gonna have those conversations, but interestingly enough, it was not at all what I pictured. So,
Well, you're spending a fortune across the road at the annex. There's asbestos pavement, that's really,
yeah, I really tried to block out the whole waste thing when I was walking through it, so I tried to take it on a proactive approach, just, and they were very forthright about, it's got a new roof, yeah, we know, it's got a water line, yeah, we know, and they closed it before the work was even done, but in any event, he did give me some decent news, which was that essentially 100% of, well, 100% of the prison population is certainly been moved, but 100% of the workforce, either through retirement or replacement somewhere else in the prison system or by their own volition, folks have been placed. So there's nobody still kind of hanging out there, so to speak, if needs a spot. Some do have to travel. There was some that I know down at Watkins Glen area, Myra, but Docs at least seems very positive on the fact that they're able to place them. Or do the retirement they were. That's all I've got right now.
We'll move the meeting to adjourn. Second.